Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Part 3 Religion, Chapter 1 Religious Prudence Protects. As an indicator for the new year, Mother Nature causes the prince and princess of the plant kingdom, Arasa and Neem trees, to complete drop all their leaves. Then Mother Nature makes them green with fresh leaves. To conduct a marriage ceremony of these two trees and install Pillayar and Nagaraja, the snake god, under them is an age-old custom. At the end of winter, these two trees will be bereft of all leaves. Pillayar and Nagaraja will be so situated that all the sunlight could fall on them. This season is suitable to enjoy the pleasant warmth of the sun. We need an umbrella to protect ourselves against the rain and hot sun. While in winter, we cannot sit in the open. In the fall season and early summer, it is a pleasure to sit in open air. There is a saying that after Shivaratri, cold will run away, uttering Shiva Shiva. When open air is very pleasant, in the day as well at night, as though to facilitate and enable Pillayar and Nagaraja to enjoy the season. Mother Nature renders the trees leafless. Then, before it becomes too hot, the trees are again covered by fresh green leaves. Nagaraja can be considered as Subramanya Swami. Actually, the Telugu people call the snake and Subramanya Swami as Subbarayudu. It is an age-old custom of Tamil Nadu too to do puja to snakes on Sashti, the sixth day after new and full moon. The love mother, nature, showers on Pillayar and Subramanya, the two children of Parvati Parameshwara, is symbolic of the love she showers on all of us, who are all also God's children only. It is complete concern and care. To drop the leaves and come out with fresh leaves is all part of natural order, world order, which does not change even after passage of many yugas. In the universe, there is discipline. Human life is possible only because of such discipline. Otherwise, everything will be chaotic. That is, so as to enable the entire living beings to live comfortably. There is balance, discipline, order, and law created by God. When the children have to be protected from sun and rain, there is shade and cover. When the children need the tender warmth of the sun, there is dropping of leaves in the fall season. This is the love with which God embraces and protects us all. So the plant life has an order. Don't we have to deserve this? Yes, we have to. The rule for trees and wood is also applicable to us. We become entitled to God's love only when we behave and act for the welfare of others and the world. This is what is called dharma. By giving us the power to act within dharma and also giving us the capability to break the order, He plays with us. He plays with us by giving us the brain. With that brain, we could try to understand all this or run after imaginary pleasures resulting in adharma. But in the end, it is only dharma which wins. Dharma eva jayate. All the people of the world have somehow been pulled towards dharma by something. That is why, at all times, in all countries, other than endeavoring to satisfy his own physical and material needs, man has ever been doing some peculiar things. One holding the cross and Bible attends the Mass, another holding the Quran attends Namas, another holding Bhagavad Gita does namaskar, another takes some ashes and smears himself, while another takes a white chalk stick called the Namakatti made of a particular clay from the river Yamuna known as Gopi Chand or Tirumand and applies a vertical line on his forehead. Though there does not seem to be any immediate benefit, why has humanity been doing these things for generations? For worldly life, man accumulated wealth and materials, not stopping with the daily needs. He also amazed for the future. Once you cater for the future, the question arises as to how far into the future do you cater for? For how many years can he do this? On realization that he cannot live for thousands of years, he catered for a lifetime and something for the next generation. Then the question arose as to what happens to him after his lifetime is over. It was realized that with the death of the body, the being does not disappear or vanish completely. It was also found that all the wealth and material accumulated by him are of no more use to him. The great people in various places tried and identified what would be of benefit to the life in him. This was done in many ways in many countries as the symbol of the cross, the mass, the namas, prayers, pujas, rituals, the sacred ash, the thiruman, and so on. Man's dharma is to do things for the benefit of humanity, thinking all to be of God's. He or she should act with this aim and not in selfishness. The narrow view of one's own advantage will push him or her into paths more and more away from dharma. So, something should be done to reduce the selfishness and create universal awareness in the human being. With this as the aim, all the religions of this world have come into being. There is no religion which preaches narrow mindedness and selfishness, since as long as he thinks of him, herself as too big, he or she will be egocentric. All the religions have emphasized the fact that the human being is infinitesimally small and ethereal in relation to God. Thereby, the effort has been to reduce the pride and head weight and inculcate humility and humbleness. Once this is inculcated, then you leave it to God to correct your mind the way it is to be done. With this purpose, all the religions have laid much emphasis on devotion to divinity. But God, as an idea, is not easy to grasp. Even when told to be devoted to God, it becomes difficult to practice. To show devotion in action is easier. That is how all the rituals, procedures, ceremonies, functions, and periodic activities have evolved. Continue in life, keep following your profession, do whatever to earn your livelihood. Simultaneously, be kind to others, do sacrifice, do service, treat others as you would like to be treated. Morality thus evolved alongside rituals. If you lead a life of pity and selfishness, one religion will say that you will attain to heaven. Another will say that you will become God's beloved. The penultimate three steps are Salokam, Samipyam, and Sayujyam. Salokam means to be in God's world. Samipyam means nearness to God. Sayujyam is to become one with God. So some emphasize that reaching the heavenly abode as the ultimate, while some insist on being a servant of God, and some principles aim at becoming so totally selfless that there is no I or me or mine, but only him and his, as just Advaita. But why fight about the ultimate? For the present, temporarily, it is enough to know that the purpose now is to try to attain him. KTSV is reminded of a Tamil Alvar who says, இச்சுவை தவிர யாம் போய் இந்திர லோகம் ஆளும் அச்சுவை பெரினும் வேண்டேன் அரங்கமா நகருளானே, meaning, forsaking this pleasure of being with you, even if I were to be given the position and status to rule over the heavens, I couldn't care less. If we were to reach anywhere near that state, we should do our duties without fail. That is our dharma. Dharma is what benefits us in this life and later. We should be doing things not only for now but also for when we will not have this body. This is more important than life insurance. If you take care of yourself, you may not need any dole. That is more beneficial to others too. This afterlife insurance gives a sense of peace now and takes care of us later also. There is no need for any confusion as to what is our dharma. For many years, many decades, many hundreds of years, there have been many great Mahatmas to emulate. KTSV adds that, at least in India, there has been a plethora of role models to emulate. There have been 63 Nayanmars, 12 Alvars, Adi Shankara, Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, and even in recent times, there have been Taimanavar, Vallalar, Pattinat Adigal, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo, Sri Ramana Maharshi, Sri Nisarga Datta Maharaj, Manika Vasagar, Nisarga Datta Maharaj, Punidi Swamigal, Thandavarya Swami, Sant Keshavadas, Seshadri Swamigal, Sai Baba, Namadev, Tukaram, Ramdas, Surdas, Tulsidas, Kabir Das, Kavya Kanta Ganapati, Muruganar, Sadhu Om, Suddhananda Bhartiyar, Mahakavi Subramanya Bhartiyar, Gopala Krishna Bhartiyar, Pamban Swamigal, Tirumular, Tiruvalluvar, Avvaiyar, Meerabai, Karekal Ammayar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada, Sanatananda Swami, Jnanananda Swami, Dayananda Swami, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, Eknath Ishwaran, Swami Ram Tirth, Swami Chidbhavananda, Swami Chinmayananda, Swami Shivananda, Nirmalananda, Nityananda, Satchidananda, Adi Shankara, Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, Gautama Buddha, Mahavir, Guru Nanak, and many more. For every great saint, there must have been many thousands about whom we never come to know. If we take a map of India, spread it over a soft board, and put a pin for each saint, in whichever part of India he belonged, the whole map of India will be full of holes. If we think of a new method, we ourselves will be in doubt. That is not to obviate a new invention. To follow established dharma to one's best ability is enough. That is the value of Indian traditions. Once born as a human being, problems will always be there. There will be bitter experiences. That is why there is a custom in South India to eat a dish made of neem flowers, which is very bitter, added with some sweet and sour taste on New Year's Day, so that you will get used to the idea that life is made up of all sorts of taste. we accept bitterness as part of life. Pongal comes at the end of the year as Tamil calendar. In Pongal, we taste sugarcane, start with neem's bitterness and end up with the sweetness of sugarcane. What starts as sweet can end in bitterness. But when we accept and welcome bitterness as Mother Nature's offering, as a medicine of Dharma, then as time goes on, we can develop the attitude to look at all experiences as sweet. Sri Rama faced many difficulties during the 14 years of life in the forest, to which he was banished. When he started out on his journey, his mother Kaushalya wanted to give him something as you would give packed lunch or dinner. What would last for 14 years without getting spoiled? She deliberated on this. She gave him an advice to stand by Dharma, which in turn could be a permanent guard for him. She told him, Raghava, the Dharma which you guard with courage and discipline will guard you. Yam palayasi dharma tvam दृढस्य च नियमेन च सा वै राघव सर्दुला धर्मस्त्वम् abhirakshatu. Rama got his kingdom and wife back by abiding with dharma. When anyone talks on the path of dharma, the whole of nature holds his hands. The elements, that is space, air, water, fire and earth, support him. Animate and inanimate world accompany him. Animals actively participate in his endeavors. If you fall into adharma, your own kin will become your enemy. This principle is proved by the Ramayana. Sri Rama was aided by the monkeys, whereas Ravana was abandoned by his brother too. Dharmam talai kakum, says a Tamil proverb, meaning that dharma will protect your head. 10-headed Ravana was beheaded. Sri Rama could hold his head high. For everyone in this world, their own ancestors have shown the way of dharma. Follow it to your own satisfaction with courage of conviction and with love for all. KTSV adds, of course, please bear in mind that anyone teaching intolerance and terrorism, racism and regionalism, parochialism and discrimination based on language or caste or creed are all on the path of adharma. If you belong to voodoo religion, follow it completely meticulously. Learn everything about it. Do not believe in conversion but inversion, learning about your own religion and yourself. Chapter 2, Acts of Sin and Merit. None of us wants to be a sinner, but we do more sinful activities. We only want the fruits of punya or noble deeds. But when the opportunity presents itself, we end up doing one more action, which we may not approve of later. Arjuna asked Sri Krishna, nobody wants to do papa, but something forces everyone to do sinful activities. What is that? Sri Krishna answered him that it is desire. Out of desire, we try to get something. So as to somehow or other get it, we ignore dharma, adharma stipulations. Having obtained what we were hankering after, are we happy? No. When we pour ghee in fire, does it quench the fire? It grows bigger. The moment one desire is fulfilled, another one has already taken priority. Does it mean that it is better if the desires are never satisfied? No. Unsatisfied desires create anger, hate, and disgruntlement. Like a rubber ball, unsatisfied desires bounce back as anger and force us into more papa. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that this krodha or anger, though an offspring of desire, is the second reason that forces us to commit sins. So, the only way to avoid sins is to destroy desires. How to do this? We cannot be without actions. Even when the bodily actions are at a standstill, the mind is at work. To keep on thinking of something or the other is the job of mind. All our actions by the body and mind are centered on our desires and expectations. So, continuously, inexorably, we are impelled towards committing more and more sins. To become devoid of actions is also not an option because of our nature. Thayam Anva Swamigal says, Thayumanava Swamigal says, Sindai Adakki Summa Irukum Tiram Aridu, meaning that the art of controlling one's mind and to be quiet without doing anything is very difficult. We stop the bodily actions, but the mind goes on and forces us into action. We are not able to stop our desires, neither can we stop the actions. So, is there no solution to do this problem? Solution is there. That is, in the state that we are in, actionlessness is not required. Instead of working only for material profit, we should get involved in actions without that profit motive. I am not suggesting lying, loafing, and lounging about, but actions which are useful to society, to others, and which give some inner satisfaction to us too. When you create some involvement like this, gradually there is less and less desire, and we will notice that papam decreases and punya increases. That is all that we have to do this to inculcate the habit of doing things without desires. Desire-less action is punya. Now, we are doing 4 types of papa by body, speech, mind, and money. By body parts, many sinful activities are done, including seeing, hearing, not giving, beating, killing, etc. By mouth, we speak untruth and gossip. By mind, we think of many sinful things, much more than we can do, and then there is no end to the wrong things that can be done by money. By these very means of sinning, we should learn and practice doing punya. The body should be involved in pradakshina, namaskaram, kar seva, social service, and such activities. By chanting God's name, the mouth should be enabled to earn punya. What to do, sir? Day and night I am involved in making the ends meet. Where is the time for chanting, puja, sandhya vandana, and such activities? May be the response of many. If we carefully analyze the way we spend time, we will find that all our time is not spent in earning an income. We waste a lot of our time in meaningless chatter, gossip, mirth, making fun of others, reading and discussing news, mainly on politics, cinema, drama, and TV serials. How much time we waste on all this? If we curtail a portion of these activities of ours, we can find and spare some time for chanting and thinking of God. Okay, don't do this separately. At the least, one can keep chanting in one's mind while traveling to office and back by bus or car or train. After all, not a single paisa or penny is going to be of use in one's later life. Then or there, God's name is the only currency. The human body is a temple. The mind is the God's place. We have made it into a waste paper basket or dustbin or soakage pit. Let us clean it, decorate it, place a throne there, seat our God there. You also sit down calmly. Spend at least 5 minutes a day like this. Even if the whole world is to be washed away in floods, do this without fail every day. This action of ours will extend a helping hand to us even when the whole world is submerged. Spend the money for God by helping the poor in need. We have to do dharma by every possible means and thereby earn punya. Papa has two powers. It urges us to do sin today. It makes us do the same thing again tomorrow. You use snuff or cigarette today, you will be attracted again tomorrow. This is how we get habituated. Even when we become aware of the ill effects of such habits, we will be helpless. It is all vasana, this smell that goes with you over many lifetimes. By good habits, let us overcome the bad habits or vasanas. You don't have to be afraid. There is a proverb which says, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. People like us, only or even worse sinners than us, have become great saints. What is his greatness if he, the God, does not take care of us? Only because we are sinners, he has the name of Patita Pavanan, meaning uplifter of the downtrodden. We are the contributors of that name to him. In the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityanjya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami maschah. The shloka means that he is telling Arjuna, leave everything aside, even dharma, ethics, or morality of all sorts, and surrender unto me. I shall save you from all possible sins. Just don't worry. Actually, when we surrender unto Him, we will automatically refrain from sinning. Then we don't have to worry anymore. So let us be courageous. As many twists we have made, we have to twist in the opposite direction as many times. To untie the knot, to eradicate Papa Vasana, we have to create Punya Vasana. Let us act deliberately. No need for hurry and anger because that will create a mess. With patience, with trust in God, if we follow Dharma, one day we can catch hold of Him. All the religion of the world have come into being only to train the body, mind, and speech to focus on God. All the great saints have come into being for the purpose of turning us away from sins and give us the direction towards God. Om Shri Mahaperiva Sharanam.